Hello, happy Sunday, and happy Mother's Day. Hi guys, happy Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and the fur moms out there. If you don't happen to have, I'm a fur mom too, but I'm also the mom of two crazy boys, right? So happy Mother's Day. Super glad to be here. If you guys like my furry Sasquatch socks. Happy Mother's Day, Sarah. These are, I dug these out of my closet. These are like my absolute favorite slippers. So I was gonna be like, yeah, I tried to, thicken my hair up and it ended up here. Just kidding. So happy Mother's Day. Normally, you guys, I am handing out flowers on Mother's Day, so you'll have to virtually accept my hugs and flowers. But we're going to do just a really cool, chill, move your body, get yourself feeling good kind of practice. So if you got furry, crazy Sasquatch slippers on, take those off. Say hi to me. Like, comment, do all those things. So find a space. I'll take off my crazy furry slippers. Maybe I'll leave them there so you can see them because they're kind of fun. Okay, find a spot anywhere on your mat. And I just want you to find a place where you can either sit or be in child's pose, where you can just really get into your breath and your breathing. Because today, being at Mother's Day, I wish I could go see my mom, but I'm going to call my mom. We want to take some time for us. So I want you to just close down your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And just take a few moments to just simply breathe. And make your inhales longer than your exhales. You can breathe in and out through your nose. You can breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Whatever allows you to really relax your breath into your belly, relax your shoulders down from your ears, and just settle into a nice position with good posture, but where you're able to breathe super relaxed into your belly. And just notice your breath, the rhythm of your breath, how your entire body feels. And then be grateful and thankful that you're giving yourself a little bit of self-care time, whether you're doing yoga with your kids or you're taking that time to be like, this is mom time and I'm alone. You can be a guy in here too, you guys know that. But just be thankful and grateful that you have the time to take a little bit to just move and feel good about your body, good about yourself by the end of this class. Moms do so much for everybody all the time. We always do. We kind of don't stop and we put ourselves last. So put yourself first today. And give yourself this just little time to feel amazing, to move your body in connection with your breath, and to allow those spaces to open, and allow your mind to relax, and not have to take care of anybody except for just simply moving your body. So take another deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth or your nose. Send it into your belly. And if you're a guy in this class, you should take a moment to be thankful for your mom and thankful for all the things that she's done for you throughout your life. Because you all know moms are like the glue that holds everything together, right? So find 4 more slow, deep breaths. In through your nose. Out through your nose or your mouth. On that fourth breath, you're gonna open your eyes. We're just gonna slowly start to roll our shoulders up and back. You might go 1, you might go 2, whatever feels good to you. I'm gonna bring my hands back to center and bring my arms all the way up. I'm gonna grab my right wrist with my left hand, and I'm gonna gently lengthen up as I come over to the side. But I'm gonna be mindful about not going too far. I'm gonna find the edge of where I can go. I'm gonna come back to center. I'm gonna switch hands. So I'm gonna put my right wrist on my left, or my right hand on my left wrist, lengthen up before I come over. Come back up to center. Let's do that one more time. So left hand on right wrist, lengthen up, and then push that right hip over as you reach that right hand across to your left side. Then bring it back to center one more time. Lift up with right hand on left wrist, then push that left hip over and come over to the side. Nice. Bring the arms all the way down. Bring those elbows towards that midline. Then bring the arms all the way up and do like a little cat position. So if you're here, I'm going to come back and keep my ribs in, so I'm not punching them out to the floor, but I'm bringing those elbows into my midline. And then I'm going to lengthen my arms up and reach back like a cat. So like a kind of a little cat-cow, but a seated cat-cow in a different way. Now I'm going to bring my arms all the way down. I'm going to go side to side with my neck. I might help it if that feels good to me. I might help it and find a deep breath in through my nose. Exhale. Find a little bit deeper of that stretch. So the more that we can be mindful about how we place ourselves in a position, how we find the edge of our stretch, and then we take a deep breath in, and then we exhale and get a little deeper into that stretch. And then we mindfully bring it back to center. So I might go forward and back, chin to my chest, same thing. Hand comes to the back of your head. You gently pull down. When you find the edge of your stretch, you think about taking a deep breath into your nose. Exhale, you get a little deeper into that stretch, but you're not forcing your back to round. So we're going to bring it back to center. I might roll it all the way, halfway, whatever feels good to me. And then we're going to come to a tabletop. So we're coming here. I'm going to have my wrist stacked, wrist, elbow, shoulder. My knees are usually about between hip and shoulder because I like to have a little bit of room to move. So I'm going to go side to side with my hips. Find that stretch in that inner right thigh, inner left thigh. And then I'm going to add a little wrist stretch to it too. So I'm going to go side to side with those wrists and find a nice little stretch there. Now, I might go a little wider first and then come back, find a child's pose, reach my hands forward. Keeping my ribs in so I'm not punching them to the floor. I'm going to bring my hands, slide them back up, bring my knees up, bring them back in, come forward and find a nice stretch in my wrists. I'm going to bring it back, knees go wide, slide it back to a child's pose, gently move those hips from side to side. Slide your hands back up, knees come back in, come forward, find the wrist stretch. So we're just combining a child's pose with a hip stretch to open those hips just gently. And then we slide those hands back, bring those knees back under, support ourselves almost like we're coming into a plank to find that stretch in the wrist. Don't go too far. You go to your edge. Come back to center. Now we're going to cat-cow. So from here, we're going to thread the needle just because it feels amazing for shoulders, right? I might have actually warmed up enough now. So you're going to take your left hand to the outside of your mat. You're going to bring hips over to your left. Make sure your hips are wide, your knees are wide enough. Hips over to the left so you feel that stretch in that right inner thigh. And then you're going to bring hips over to the right. You're going to bring that right arm up. You're going to make sure you keep those ribs in and up. And then bring that hand through. Back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. Find that nice stretch in the T-spine. Be mindful about how you're moving your body, because it matters. How you position your body when you get into these stretches matters, especially like Chris was saying yesterday in his, where if you are positionally stretch yourself. So find the edge of that stretch. When you find it, you're going to bring the side of your head down. You're going to ground into the back of your right hand and the back of your right arm. You're going to find a nice stretch in the shoulder, and then you're going to bring that left arm up if it feels good to you. And then if I want to externally rotate and then open that shoulder, I can do that as well. Now the challenge is to get your breathing under control. So deep breath in through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. Take about 3 breaths. And then bring it back up to center. Cat-cow in between, or even if you want, you can come into this. Come forward, little wrist stretch. Totally up to you. You're going to take that right hand to the outside of your mat. You're going to bring hips over to the right. Find the stretch in the inner left thigh. Hips over to the left. Bring that arm up. So keep this all engaged with that arm up, then thread it through. Back of hand, back of arm, back of shoulder. Find that nice little T-spine stretch. Position your body to where you feel like you are bringing that position all the way in. You're easing that stretch all the way from your hand all the way back into your T-spine. And on that 3rd or 4th time is where you're going to set your head down. You're going to, if it feels good to you, bring that arm up. Turn that palm out, bring it behind you. Externally rotate, try to open that shoulder or reach for your left quad. And then try to control your breathing. Release your hand, bring it back down, bring it back to center. Cat-cow. Any combination of what we had just done. Maybe squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then you're going to curl your toes. You're going to bring your hips up and back. And you're going to find your down dog. So you want to find that triangle. Now bend and move. See how it feels. Now bend your knees. Gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Ooh, don't fall over. Fingertips to shins. We're going to lengthen up. Shoulders back and down. Feel how those hamstrings feel this morning. Exhale and fold. If you need to bend those knees, and this is the time where we want to bend and open up. So you want to alternate, and then you want to try to connect your breath to that movement. I straighten a leg, bend a leg, and I get into each of those hips, and I start to open them up. Now bend your knees, ground your feet into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing, gentle little squeeze. You guys know, go where you want to go from here. And just find all of those nice stretches. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Okay, top of your mat. We're going to have a super awesome feel-good chill yoga class. Put my sparkle pants on because it's my day today, because it's Mother's Day. If you didn't see, Trent made me a squat rack for Mother's Day. It was the best present ever. So I'm super happy. So exhale, we're going to fold it all the way back down. Fingertips to shins, you guys lengthen up. Bring the shoulders back and down. Your head, you're looking to the floor. You're finding length from the crown of your head all the way down. Plant your hands down. Step back, hop back, jump back. High to low. Know when we come up, you can be Sphinx, making sure you press through your hands and lifting with your ribs in and up, or press through your palms. Lift those ribs in and up. Find that length and extension of your back, not compression of your low back. Then curl your toes, bring your hips up and back. Find that down dog. Let's bend our knees again. Gaze goes forward. We're going to step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins. Lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Now I want you to step your feet about half a step out. Which I'm going to go like this. There we go. Like half a step out. Okay? Now what we're going to do is I'm going to bend both my knees just slightly. I'm going to show you from this way. And what I'm going to do is place down my right hand on the fingertips. Okay? Right in front of me. So I almost make a triangle. I do make a triangle with my feet and my hands. Now what I'm going to do is lengthen my left leg as I keep my right bent. Keeping my ribs in, roll this hand up my body. So it's like I'm airplane wings. So if I were to look down and look up here, everything's in line. Now, and I'm getting a stretch in my hips. Now what I'm going to do, if I can bind it behind me if I want and open that shoulder, or I can lower down this hand, bend the knee, switch hands, press and lengthen my right leg straight, and roll my right arm up. I can come here. I can come here. I can take it slow. I can take it fast. But try to not, when you're bringing your arm up, roll it up versus doing this. This will compress your shoulder and you're like, oh, that hurts. This is naturally how your arm lines move. So one more on each side. However slow or fast you want to do it. Nice, bring it back to center. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back, high to low. Find your Cobra. Now, you know how we're all like this with computers? Bring the shoulders back and down. Find some length. Point your toes. Press through your hands. And go whatever level you need to be. Curl your toes. Bring those hips up and back. Walk it out. Now, our goal is going to be our right foot to our hands. However you want to get there, you guys. I'm going to come forward into bear crawl and bring that right leg underneath me and then lengthen that right leg high to the sky. I might step my hands back and square my hips. Come up on the tippy toe of my right knee, in and up to my chest, to my hands. You guys know you can just you can just help it too. I'm going to track my feet, find a deep stretch in that left hip, bring down the left knee and relax the back foot. So from here, I always have a slight angle to start, like very slight, on my right shin because I want to bring myself up here where I really feel the stretch. So if I have a block, that's a little more helpful. So now I'm going to come into that Samson stretch. I'm going to keep this positioning, but I'm going to come forward and find the edge of that stretch in my hip. Now when I find that first stretch, it's usually really tight, right? So I'm going to think about taking a deep breath in, exhale out, but keeping that body position and keeping the edge of that stretch. And I might find 3, 4, 5 breaths if that feels good to me. If it's too intense, then I'm going to think about easing out of that pose and finding the opposing opposite stretch by hinging back my right hip and finding that stretch in my right hamstring. And then I might feel better to come forward, minding my body position and coming forward and finding that stretch in that hip. And then breathing. Because what you'll notice, if you take the time to take a breath or two in each of those positions, you're going to open those positions up a little bit more to where when you come back here this third time, it's not as tight. Now I might be able to actually come up here and use my hands against the top of my knee and find a deeper stretch. I'm going to hinge it back. So you take it at your pace and check in and see how you feel. Just be mindful about how you set yourself up for that position. Now I'm going to hinge it back one more time. I'm going to bring that leg behind me. I'm going to curl my toes again and bring my hips up and back. And I'm going to find my down dog. Now, remember, I'm going to switch so you can see. Remember that you can bring this leg up and just bring it through and then help it. That's totally fine. Or you can do it the fun way. And you're going to come forward into bear crawl, bring that left leg underneath you, lengthen that left leg high to the sky. So find a nice line, press through your hands. Come up on the tippy toe of the right, left knee comes in and up to your chest. Kind of hop on that right foot a little bit, and then place down your left foot. Hinge back, or not hinge back, slide back that right foot, bring down the right knee, and be here. So if I had a block, which I do, I'm going to come here first, because I'm going to set myself up to find the stretch. Slight angle at my hip, or my knee, or my shin. And then I'm going to come forward and find the stretch in my right hip. So right now it's a little tight. I want to think about my body position. Is my knee coming in? Am I paying attention to my feet? Am I grounding into my feet? Finding the edge of the stretch without overextending my back. And then I'm going to hinge back. Find that opposing stretch here. Think about taking a deep breath in. Exhale. But I'm keeping myself in a good position here and not paying attention to where my shoulders are. So body position, super important, especially if you're trying to gain mobility in areas that are tight. Can't just force yourself into them, but you also need to go into them with good body positioning. And as it starts to open up, it might be 1 breath per movement versus 3 or 4. Just really depends what your body's telling you today. And then I'm going to put my block to the side. I'm going to bring my leg back. I might hip circle each side. I might bring my leg up. Now when I'm here, I'm thinking about almost like a bird dog, right? But a bent leg bird dog. And I'm going to lift my leg up. But I'm not going to push my ribs out or overextend my back. So I might bring it up a couple times. Find a nice little stretch in the glutes. Okay. Curl your toes. Bring your hips up and back. Find your down dog. Walk it out. Press your hips back towards the back of the room. And then I want you to bend your knees. Gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins. We lengthen up. Including from the crown of your head all the way to your tail. Exhale and fold. Check in. Maybe you're a little closer to the ground. Then bend your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing. Go side to side, go where you want. How are we feeling? I hope we're feeling really good. Okay. Tell me if we need more hips or shoulder or if there's anything in particular that you're needing. We're going to go down into another shoulder or another hip stretch, but if you want a little bit, if there's something in particular that you want that you haven't told me, let me know. Bring the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Fingertips to shins, you guys lengthen up. Bring the shoulders back and down. Find that straight leg deadlift. Plant your hands, step, hop, jump, high to low. Keep those ribs in and up. Don't let this happen. Don't extend and compress your back. Find your edge. Curl your toes. Bring those hips up and back. Walk it out. Lift up one of your hands. Place it on the ground mindfully about where. Be mindful about every single part of your body. Now, we're going to come forward. Goal is going to be that right foot to that hand again. So any way you want to do it, or come forward into bear crawl, lengthen. Come up on the tippy toe of the left. Right comes in and up to your chest, to your hands. Bring it back. It's physics, you guys. Okay, so bring it down here. We're gonna do one more hip stretch because it goes into 2, and then I'll look and see what you guys told me. So I'm gonna come here. We've done this one before. Why? Because consistency with this one is important. I'm gonna bring my right foot all the way to the outside edge. You guys know, if you've done this with me, make sure that you have a nice deep stretch in that left hip. Keep your ribs in and up. Right foot, right knee, don't go out. Right elbow at 90 degrees. Deep breath in. Exhale. Go where your body allows you. Inhale, you come back up. Exhale, you lower. So just because I could lower and go like this, I'm not trying to push out my knee. I'm trying to connect my breath with my movement. And from that, find a stretch in my left hip. Work on getting that elbow to the floor without compensating. And connecting my breath to my body. So when I can get to the floor or close and I want to, optional here, I'm going to step my foot about half a step in. I'm going to ride the outer arch of the right foot. And I'm going to go ahead and be here. Now, if you would need to, you can take a block or something right here to help support this left hip if it's too intense for maybe your low back or your hip. If you want to come here. Now, you can get into nice little twists, but you want to think about finding length up your body as you lengthen and find a little twist if that feels good to you. Or you could be here, or you could be here. You just want to think about finding your edge and what feels good to you. I do the little mom sway from holding my kids in supermarkets when they wouldn't be good when they were babies. So I'm just going to find 2 or 3 breaths here that feels good. And then I'm going to bring my foot back. I'm going to hinge back my hip, find a stretch in my hamstring if there is one, and then I'm going to bring that leg back behind me. I might hip circle my left because that one's the one that's a little tighter, and then I'm going to find my down dog again. So I'm going to walk it out. I'm going to lift my hands up. I'm going to spread my fingers out wide, walk my feet out, press my hips back, and make sure there's no crease in my wrists. Now from here, you guys, left foot to your hands, however you want to get there. Now find that train track, bring down that back knee, walk that left foot over to the left edge of your mat. So we're thinking about not being a box with our body. So our knee does not want to be directly under our hip. Our knee wants to be, you want to extend that leg down. Now we're not pushing out knee or foot. Inhale. Exhale. So I sometimes will take the outside, my tricep and my elbow, and when I exhale, I will ride that down the inner part of my leg. That way I know that I'm not pushing out my knee or my left leg. If I can get to the floor, then I'm going to half step it in, bring it to the outside edge, find what feels good to me. And the edge of what feels good to me. So that might be right here. I might not have to come to the floor. My stretch might be good right here, but I'm not ready to go to the floor yet. I need to keep myself propped up, and that's okay. Just finding what feels good to you. Find 2 or 3 breaths. When you're ready, you'll bring it back. You'll hinge back the right hip. You'll find the stretch in the left hamstring. And then when you're ready, you'll bring that leg behind you. You'll hip circle the right, hip circle the left. They should feel a lot more open. Curl your toes. Bring your hips up and back. Find your down dog again. Bend your knees. Gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up, find that straight leg deadlift. Exhale and fold. Check in, where you at? Maybe your hands are underneath your feet and you're pulling your shoulders back and down but keeping your ribs in and up and finding a really deep stretch in the hamstrings. Or maybe you're ragdolling. Maybe you still got bent knees. Maybe you're grabbing the back of your calves. Bend your knees, ground into the floor. Roll yourself up to standing. Gentle little squeeze of your glute. Bring your arms all the way up. Go where you want to go. Maybe it's mini back bends. And then go where you want to go. Hips low back, Sarah says. Hips, y'all are like hips. It's always hips, isn't it, guys? Grab a drink of water, coffee, mimosa, who knows? I don't have any mimosas in my house right now. The sun came out for a second. It's only going to be here for a second. It's not supposed to be sunny at all today. So yay that it happened in yoga. Okay, guys. More hips then. More hips for the mothers. All y'all want hips. Okay. Come back to here. Bring the arms up. It's a little side to side. Ooh, we should do this quick. Okay, so what we're going to do, I know we just went side to side. You're just going to turn on the side of your mat and be in the middle of your mat. I'm going to bring my feet out. It's probably like shoulder width, right? Because we're going to do ninja lunges. So I'm going to make sure that I am like set up in a good body position, right? I'm not like over here where all like half my knees are coming in. I want to be nice and tall in good position. Just like we do a good morning. And then what I'm going to do is just like I'm going to bring my hip back. And if I want, I'm going to turn my toes up and find that really deep stretch. And I'm going to bring it back to center. And then I'm going to push that hip back. Now you can do this however you want. If you had a med ball here, this is what I have a lot of guys do at the gym. If it's like too intense or they can't quite get to that position, you don't have to turn the toe up. But I want you to be mindful about where your knee is tracking. I don't want your knee tracking over your toes. You're not pushing and loading your knee. You're going back into that hip, but yet keeping those ribs in just like you would in a lateral lunge. If you want a little more intense, you come here. And try to find a deep, deep, deep stretch. My hips are cracking like crazy. Now, we're going to bring this back to center. I'm going to have a little bend in my knee. I'm going to grab a block if I need. I'm going to go wide. Now, I'm not going to ride the inner arch of my feet. Okay? If you need a little micro bend in your knee, you totally can have a micro bend in your knee. Think about keeping your ribs in and up. Now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm just in a good like tabletop position. I'm going to extend my legs, and I'm going to send my weight a little bit back into my hamstrings. But I am going to think about grounding into my feet and not riding the outer arch. Finding that stretch, keeping those ribs in. Now maybe I bring my head down to a block, and maybe I grab my ankles, keeping my shoulders back and down, keeping my whole foot on the ground. Maybe I come to here. It's kind of a little bit of a balance too, but it's a deep stretch in the hamstrings. Now I could still just be here and coming a little bit further back. So now I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to heel toe my feet like once or twice. I'm going to bend my legs, put my hands on my quads, bring myself up to standing. Big star pose. Maybe grabbing each arm, finding an additional stretch. But notice how I'm lengthening up and not just pulling. I'm finding length. Now I'm going to bring my feet back underneath me. I'm going to turn the top of my mat. And I'm going to come kind of to the top of my mat. My mat's really, really long. And it's really wide. It's a new mat. So I'm going to step my feet all the way up. Kind of like to the outside of my mat, turn my toes out. Now I'm going to do this way. So you guys can see me from here. Sometimes I have a block, okay? We're going to come down kind of into a sit to stand. So I'm going to come down here, keeping my shoulders back, right? If I had a block, it'd be right here if I couldn't reach. Now what I'm going to do is almost like I'm going to sit in a chair. So I'm going to sit down into that chair, find a deep stretch, adjust your feet if you need, because what we're going to do, if you can, is drop right into that yogi squat, using my elbows against my knees to bring my chest up. My hands are at heart center. So deep stretch here, but here's the cool thing. If you're like, whoo, that's intense, Hands come back to blocker floor, keeping engagement, coming back up, finding a stretch. Now I come to neutral and then I come and find a little cat stretch. Bring it back to neutral. Push that hip back, sit into that chair. Find that yogi squat, open up the hips, ground into your toes. Find a deep stretch in your hips. You can go as slow or as fast as your body needs with this. But it's about finding, again, body position, thinking about ribs staying in and up. And really just finding that sit to stand and being okay with going a little slower. We don't have to rush things all the time. Now bring it all the way back up. Heel toe your feet back underneath you. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Plant your hands down, step back, hop back, jump back. High to low. Ribs in and up. Shoulders back and down. Curl your toes, bring your hips up and back, find your down dog. Nice, bring your knees down to your mat, bring them out as wide as you want, big toes to touch. Slide it back, find a child's pose. Be mindful of your ribs, you guys. And this is one too, you can take a block here if your head doesn't quite reach. Press those hips back. Use your block if you need to. But really lengthen your fingers forward. They can be at 45 degrees. They can be whatever feels good to you guys. Just take a moment to breathe. Notice your breath from the beginning of class. Just how much it's changed in the 40 minutes, not even 40 minutes we've been moving. So deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. On your next exhale, you're going to bring your hands up, bring your knees under. Hands are going to not be directly underneath your wrists. You're going to step it forward just a little bit. Curl your toes, bring those hips up and back. Find your down dog. Now bend your knees. Gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, ground into the floor. Roll yourself all the way to standing. Gentle little squeeze. Go where you want to go. How are you guys feeling? Give me likes, hearts, awesome sauce if you are feeling good in the hips. Because I think I want to do something. I think I want to do wild thing. And let me show you what that is, or how we get into that first. Let's do something pre-wild thing, because we got to prep for wild thing, right? So how do your hips feel? Good? Mobile, hopefully? Okay. Watch me first. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to get into. So give me likes and hearts if your hips feel great. We're going to do a prep pose for wild thing. Okay. And the sun came out right when I said this, so I was like, ooh, we have to do it. Okay. So, and I'm going to show you from two different angles. What you're going to do is you're going to come forward and find that right leg underneath you, okay? In between your hands. You're going to lengthen up and open at the same time. Do you notice how I did not do this? It all went one movement. I came forward, found my body position, lengthen and open. Because I'm pressing into my hand to lengthen my body. Let me show you this way. So if I come forward with that right leg, I'm going to lengthen back with my hands and open up here. So that's a little different from coming here and then trying to open your hip. Think about exhaling and pressing it all together, because you know you're going to press into your weight into that left hand, and you're going to open that hip. So what we're going to do is a couple of those before we go into wild thing. So come to a down dog. You don't even have to get there in a fancy way. So just come into a down dog. Make sure you guys can see me. Yep. Bring that right leg into your chest. Find a good plank position. Now, when you lengthen that leg back, your weight is going to go into that left hand as you open up that right hip. You are looking at your right armpit. You're breathing. You'll bring that leg back into your chest. Lengthen when you're ready. If you need to reset at any point in time, you come back to down dog. And you reset your body just like this. And you come back to down dog and you reset. So 2 to 3 times on each side is what we're going for with really good body position. So I'm going to switch to my left. I'm going to bring my left leg underneath me, right? I'm going to lengthen. Weight's going to get pressed into my right hand, but I'm pressing and finding length. And then I'm going to bring it back. And then I'm going to press and open up that hip and find length and press through my arm. And then come back. Maybe one more time I come up, length, and open that hip. Bring it back to down dog. Walk it out. Bring it down to your knees. Go a little wider with your knees for a second. Bring out that left hand. Keep your ribs in. Bring this arm up. Find to thread the needle again. Bring it back to center. You can move as much or as little as you want in those thread the needles. Do one more on the right side. Left arm comes in. Find that little stretch. Bring it back to center and down dog. Bend your knees, look at your hands, step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins, you guys lengthen up. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, ground into the floor, roll yourself all the way to standing. Okay, we're gonna go into wild thing. So, get some water or coffee or whatever you got. All right, I'm going to show you guys this first. And I make sure you can see me too. Okay. Wild thing. Because we're fun wild things. Okay. I'm going to make sure you can see this from wherever I'm at. So I'm going to go here first and we'll go see how this works. Okay. So I'm going to bring my right leg forward underneath me just like we did, right? Actually, I need to step here. We've done wild thing before in here. I'm going to lengthen up to here, right? Just like we were. But now what I'm going to do is, it's easier to watch than it is for me to explain. Let me show you. Bring it up. Drop that foot. So I'm flipping my dog. Let me show you that again. Bring it in. Lengthen. This arm comes up because your weight is on that hand. And I come here. So, but I want you to watch. And then what I'm going to do is be mindful about how I do everything. So everything just like we did. Press into that hand. Flip your dog. I'm going to set myself up to come here. So I sit down first. Show you this way. I sit and then I come here. How I get back? Flip your dog back. So if I was here and I came forward and I lengthen, and I drop. And then I go here. Okay, let's try it. All right, so come to your down dog. You can try this a couple times. You're going to bring that right leg forward. You're going to find your three-legged dog, open up, flip your dog, sit. So almost like you'd be coming into slightly like a, I can't think of the name of it right, Turkish get up. A little bit. Now I'm going to bring my right hand up across my body and find that wild thing. I'm going to bring it back down, bring my foot back up, flip my dog. Okay, I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to bring my left leg in. I'm going to lengthen up, put my weight in my right hand, flip my dog, straighten my leg out or little bend, lengthen. Bring it back down, Flip my dog. Let's go back to the right. Lengthen. If you need to lengthen, and then lengthen and go and open. Flip your dog. It's hard to do it slow. And then open. Bend your knee. Flip it back. One more time on the left. Open up. That one wasn't as good. Come forward, lengthen and open. Flip your dog. Then find there. Bring it back to down dog. Walk it up. Woo, bring your knees down. Sit back on your heels. Bring your arms up, maybe a little side to side. Ooh, that gets your arms, doesn't it? Because you're pressing and putting all your weight on that side as you flip your dog over. So you can't be slow about flipping your dog. You have to be kind of fast about it. So I'm just going to go side to side. I might shake my arms out. Just make them feel good. Okay. We got to do a balance pose too, I think, guys. What do you want to do? Give me a suggestion. Do you want to do dancer? We did tree last week. I don't know if we did dancer last week. I can't remember. No, we did half moon. Come to down dog. Think about what you want to do for a balance pose, because I can't see you. So you can really do what you want. But bend your knees. Gaze goes forward. Step, hop, jump, float. Fingertips to shins. We're going to lengthen up. Bring the shoulders back and down. Find length down your head and neck. Exhale, fold. Check in. See how you feel. Bend your knees, ground into the floor. Roll all the way to standing. Gentle little squeeze and go from side to side wherever you want to go. So, we got time for a balance pose. We got time for pigeon. What do you guys want to do for a balance pose? I think we could do dancer. We could do crow, but it's like I want the ladies in here. I kind of want to do dancer because I love dancer, and you can always have something to hold on to for dancer. So I think we're going to do dancer. I've decided. If there's a different one you want to do, you can totally do that. So as we think about every single standing balance pose, right? Chris was talking about this yesterday, about how like we would go into like, I've done it a million times where we've done like these in the gym and I'm all over the place because my balance wasn't on. So it's thinking about that before we get into something. So that big toe, that pinky toe, the ball of your, like the whole center of your foot, you want that thing to like glue into the ground, but yet like evenly put that weight everywhere. Okay, so evenly across your whole foot, ground that puppy into the floor like it's not going anywhere. And then think about squeezing that right glute. Now I'm going to bring this leg up behind me because I know I'm going into dancer pose. So I want to first find this before I even move into a pose. And you guys know that's what I've been preaching for years, because if you want to own a balance pose, own the positioning of the start of that balance pose before you even attempt to go into it. You will find you can hold poses and talk and do things like this when you pay attention to your breath, connecting that to your body and grounding it into different positions. So I'm grounding my weight into my right foot. I'm thinking about squeezing my glute, keeping my ribs in. When I find my balance and my breath, my arm comes up. And then all in one movement, I'm going to kick it back. Whoop, balance isn't there. So I am one to stop and reset myself, not just go into full expression because I think I have to. That's an ego thing, guys. Get rid of that. You don't need it. You'll find once you drop that, things suddenly just appear. So I'm going to find this position. Think about breath. Shake it out. If you find that and hold that, what you'll find is this whole leg, glute, calf is just like on fire. So that was not my best side today, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be my best side. Some days it's great, and some days it's like, I'm not connecting something, right? You also need to focus on something that's not moving. So just because I don't get a balance pose, I don't get down on myself about it. Like, I love handstands. I can do handstands all day. I would do them all day if I could. Sometimes I do. But sometimes my handstands are awesome. And sometimes I know exactly what it is. I can sit down and go, I'm not breathing. I'm not finding my positioning with my body. So I'm going to find that balance on my left foot now. So I'm going to go big toe, pinky toe, center of my heel. Find that even weight. Lock in that leg. Squeeze that glute. Gaze is on something that's not moving. Now I'm going to try to go this way. I'm going to put both my hand, or my entire hand, on the outside of my foot. I'm going to think about squeezing, breathing, connecting my body, and then I'm going to turn my body into a bow and arrow. Actually, I'm going to come here. So I have my hands on the top of my foot. I'm breathing. I'm going to go all in one movement. Pressing my foot, see as soon as I start talking, pressing my foot against my hand. So if you don't get it, it's okay. Use something to have your hand to grab to. I'm going to try it again because I really want to nail this pose. And goal is to get it back the same exact way, woo, that you got into it. Whew, so you got to connect like breath, gaze, body position, and movement all together in one to nail those poses. But don't get down on yourself. If you're like, it's not working today, stop, think, reposition, check in. How's my breath? Is my breath way up here and I'm trying to hold a balance pose? It's not going to happen. You really got to allow that breathing to be very controlled. So, nice job, guys. Shake it out. So just think about if you need to hold on to something, you can, to practice that and to get into the right position, and then work from there and slowly take that away and slowly work on a little bit more balance, a little bit more balance, a little bit more balance when you find, and it becomes a little bit more natural, even if you only hold it for a few seconds. Nice job. So bring it up. Exhale, fold it down. Legs should feel super good now. Hopefully hips are really open. Fingertips to shins, you guys lengthen up. Bring the shoulders back and down. Plant your hands. Step back, hop back, jump back. If you jump back, find that plank. High to low. Remember, ribs in and up. Press through those hands. Shoulders back and down. Find your down dog. Now, what I want to do, I want to press back into my hips, keeping my ribs in and up. I'm going to take my left foot and bring it behind my right ankle. Now, I might come just slightly forward, not much, but then I'm going to press back. Maybe step my hands back once. Press back and get that right heel to the floor and feel the stretch in my right calf. Woo. Bring it back forward. Release your foot. Shake it out. Now I might extend my hands a little bit because I'm going to come forward a little bit and then lengthen back. Now I'm going to take that right leg, woo, as I almost break things. And I'm going to bring my right leg behind my left heel. I didn't break anything. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to step my hands back just about half a step. I'm going to press back into that left heel and find the stretch in the left calf. Then I'm going to release that leg, walk it out. Now I'm going to find my down dog, and I'm going to press back into my hip, keep my rib in, take my left hand to the outside of my right ankle. I'm going to press through my right palm of my hand. My left hand is at my right ankle, and I'm finding a stretch in my shoulder, my right. And then I'm going to release. Maybe bend and walk it out. Now I'm going to press into my left hand. Weight is in my left. Right hand's coming to the outside if I can. You don't have to grab the ankle. Wherever you can keep good body position. Then release. Now we're going to come into a down or a pigeon. So you can come in any which way you want, where you have a regular pigeon where we're here, or you can be on your back. It's completely your choice. Or, because Chris was doing these yesterday, so if you can't quite get here, right, you could always do one of these 90-90s, right? And you can go 90-90, keeping good position here, and trying to do this. So if this feels better to you today than just staying in a pigeon, then you can be here. Or you can simply be here. Think about pointing your toe. Or you can be on your back. You can even grab a sweatshirt if you can't quite get. If you're like this, I want you to think about finding something that you can use, or using your own body weight and thinking about, where are my feet at, you know? Flexing your toes, finding good body position, and finding that stretch. So whatever feels the best to your body, that allows you to find that really awesome stretch is what we're going for. So deep breath in through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. And then when you're ready, I didn't break it, thankfully. Kicking things in my living room. Okay, so when you're ready, if you want to do this, remember this is optional. So you're going to rise yourself up. If you want to, because I know I have a couple ladies working on this. You take the right fingertips to the inner right knee. You're going to lift hips and your back leg all at the same time on fingertips. So you're going to come up and then lengthen up to the sky. You might touch a toe. You might get here. A lot of my girls are working on this. So bringing that ankle into me, but then what I'm going to do is lengthen that back and lengthen up. So almost thinking I have a string attaching to my head to the ceiling, and it pulls me up and back. Completely optional. And it's one of those where sometimes, as a few of you know, we work to that one, right? Now, when you're ready, come back into down dog. Find your down dog. And then we're going to bring that other leg forward. So you might be on your back. That's fine too. You might be here. If you just joined us, happy Mother's Day. The sun keeps coming out right now, and I looked in the forecast, and it wasn't supposed to come out all day. So I'm a firm believer that's because we all got together to do yoga today. So thanks, guys, for coming. I can't wait till we're actually all back together, which will happen. But for right now, we do the best we can, and we offer whatever we can offer, right? Because I haven't missed a Mother's Day yoga in probably, well, still haven't. We're still going, right? I think it's been about 5-6 years. So deep breath in through your nose. Thank your body for moving today. Thank your body for connecting with your breath and feeling good. And thank your body for allowing you to get into positions. And thank yourself for opening your mind to your breath, to your body to get there. Deep breath in through your nose. Two more breaths, and on that second breath is when we will rise back up. I'm going to take my left hand to the inside of my left knee. I'm going to think Fingertips, hip, and back leg all at the same time. So I'm finding length up. I might touch my foot. I might gently twist and find it. I might reach for that ankle, bring that ankle in, find my shoulders here, then lengthen up. Point the back toe as well. This one's optional, guys. It's like a really deep, deep couch stretch. But if you're in the gym, there's a few of you, I've gotten into this position with med balls. So release whenever you're ready. Curl your toes, bring those hips up and back, walk it out. Then bring your knees down to your mat. Sit back on your heels. Bring your feet out in front of you. And then I just want you to find a really chill place. So you could be laying down. You could be in child's pose. I just want you to take a few moments to just breathe. I want to thank all of you guys for taking the time and giving yourself a little bit of self-care you time, especially on Mother's Day. I want you to all keep being the great, awesome mothers that you are. And if you're a guy in here, appreciate the mothers that are in your life. Call your mama if you can. And just be grateful and thankful that you're here. We all serve a purpose, even if we might not know what that is. But we're all here for a reason. So keep showing up. Take a deep breath into your nose. Exhale out to your mouth. And just let every part of your body release and relax. Toes, knees, fingers. Notice the rise and fall of your breath. Let your shoulders come down from your ears. Let go of any thoughts or just anything that's holding on too tight. Take a deep breath into your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Find 3 more breaths. And then on that third exhale, I want you to turn to your right or your left side. Just take a moment to curl up in the fetal position. Find what feels good to you. Find your breath again. And then using the arm you're not using as a pillow, use that to push yourself back up to a seated position. So thank you guys. I know we ran over. It's just like a normal class like I used to teach in the barn where we'd run like 10 minutes over. It was amazing. But happy Mother's Day to all of you guys. I hope you have an amazing, fun day. And I really just hope that you know that we are all grateful to moms. You guys are all awesome and amazing. And I love that I get to come teach yoga in here. It makes me feel like my life is somewhat normal. So thank you guys for showing up. I hope you feel awesome and amazing. I will see you guys on Thursday. But as we bring our hands to heart center, as I end every class, The light and teacher in me honors the light and teacher in each and every one of you. So namaste, you guys. Tell me in the comments how you feel, if you had a fun class, if you feel amazing, and happy Mother's Day to all you guys. You'll have to accept my virtual flowers and hugs. So next time I see you, I'll give you all flowers. So me and my crazy Sasquatch feet are going to stay warm and go upstairs. But have a great Mother's Day, guys. I'll see you soon.